This video is in response to a question Dark Oblivion asked me in the comments, so shout out to Dark Oblivion. But you asked if I could share any tips or tricks on how to earn so much free play. I think you probably saw one of my videos. I had 1,600, a few thousand, I don't know, free play. There's 1,650 is what I got right there. Usually I get a few thousand or whatever for each trip. So yeah, this is in response to that question. So let me answer that. I've got 200 bucks in here. We're gonna play this game Hell's Bells. It's kind of noisy, so I might talk just a little bit before I push the first button because I've got the volume all the way down. But my first response to that is I only play at MGM properties. When I first started coming to Vegas and playing, I bounced around all over. I played at MGM, I played at Cosmopolitan, I'd play at Venetian, I'd go to Boyd's properties and Sam's Town and just whatever. I'd bounce, different Fremont Street properties just to try to capture, all the different old school slots because I love the old school slots, and they're not, they're spread out all over. You kind of got to go to multiple properties to find them. But I kind of realized that I was just getting okay offers at each property, and once I started just strictly putting all my slot play at MGM properties, one location, my incentives increased tenfold, right? My offers, I guess. So number one is pick the company brand that you prefer. And just keep going back to that brand. For Vegas, MGM is probably the best. Caesars is not bad, but MGM's always been the best. They're not as good as they used to be, but they're in my opinion one of the best. They've also got the most shows to offer, like all the Cirque du Soleil shows and so many more. So they have more shows to offer than anybody else. Food at all the different places. I also get $1,200 in food comps when I come here, so I got more food than I could possibly eat. I don't use it all. When my wife comes, we come closer to using it all because we'll eat at like a Bavette Steakhouse or some other places. But often I just don't use it all. Anyways, so that's one. That's my number one is kind of play at the same locations. Also, if you see my slot channel, which you have because you're watching me, compared to some of these other bigger slot channels, I don't bet near the kind of money that they bet. Not at all. I mean, some of those people, they're betting $25, $50, $250, $350 to spin. I mean, Vegas Matt every once in a while bets on that Regal Riches, $1,750 a spin on some of those videos. I'm like, I can never compete against that ever. I'm in a $5 range is where I play most of the time, and then I do my smack challenges in the dollar range. Like this is a 5 line, so it's going to be $5 a smack, or if I do a 2 credit on $5, $10 a smack. And then you see me every once in a while stretch my limits and do some $25 2 credit pinball at $50 a smack, or a top dollar at $50, or sometimes a 3 credit $5 or 3 credit $10 machine, but that's not normal. I only do that a few times a trip for fun, but most of the time I'm in that $5 range, or if it's 2 credit, $10. So I don't have a giant budget like some of those other slot channels, but I do try to play machines that are less volatile. Yes, you'll see me play some Dragon Link and some other things at times that are more volatile, but those machines often will at least give you small hits as you play, so you can play a little bit longer, but they're not great. I'm not suggesting Dragon Link or anything like that as a way to build points, but there are a few slots out there that, in my opinion, are good. If you go to Park MGM or to MGM Grand in Vegas, there's a slot machine called Majestic Lions. It plays just like Blazing Sevens, but in my opinion, I think it plays a little better than Blazing Sevens. My personal opinion is because it's got MGM branding on it, so they want their branding to look good, right? They want to pay out a little bit higher, in my opinion, because it's got their branding. Because I've played Blazing Sevens for years, and I haven't played Majestic Lions for years, but I've been starting to play it, and it just seems like it consistently plays better than Blazing Sevens. So I think you can put a couple $100 in, often Majestic Lions, and play for a long time. And that's what it's about. Just sitting there, you're spending $3, and then you win 100 every now and then, or 200 every now and then, or you get those 3, or maybe even get the progressive for $1,000. But it seems like I can play for that $200 for a long time and just keep pushing that button. And my $200, will go up and down, but I can still keep playing on that $200 for a long time. If you're just trying to build points, you just keep going. If you're not, then if you hit that $200 or $300 hit with the Lions, you cash out and take your money. Or you just keep going with it if you're trying to get your player points built back up. Also, MGM offers like double, triple reward. So if you plan your trip, see when they're offering those multipliers. And then plan your trip around those multipliers. That is a big thing. When you get those multipliers involved, you can really get your point status built back up. But now that's not necessarily all has to do with free play. Free play has to do with a lot of this. How much cash in? How much money are you spending? Not so much did you put in $500 and pull out $500. It doesn't recognize that. It only recognizes it when you push the spin. They don't care how much money necessarily you win or lose. What they care about is just what do you place? If you put in $200, but you played that $200 for an hour and you kept pushing that $300, you might have played $1,000 or $1,200 in actual what MGM counts as your points played, right? And that's huge, right? So that's why I try to find slots that will allow me to play like that, because that's what MGM is looking at. Now, if you do have a casino host and you come in and get your tail kicked, you can always talk to your casino host about your next trip giving you more money, and that does happen. I've come in, got my tail kicked before, and told my host, and they've given me a considerable amount of more money for my next trip. Other slot I would suggest, Majestic Lions, like I said, but Blazing Sevens plays just like it, so that's another good one. That Monte Carlo that's in MGM Grand, it's there's other Monte Carlos out there that are pretty decent, but I'm telling you, the Monte Carlo at MGM Grand, hands down. Not MGM Grand, I'm so sorry, Park MGM. It's across from the Starbucks. Hands down, best Monte Carlo machine I've ever seen, ever played. I would put it up against any other machine. You're putting $200 in and seeing what can last the longest with $200. I've literally been on the machine for hours on the same $200. No joke, not filming it because no one wants me to play. No one wants to watch me play that machine for that long. But I would put it up against any machine out there, any day of the week. Someone wants to throw a $100 bill at me, let's go. A lot of people will say, Cherry's Jubilee, Cherry's Jubilee. I just disagree about Cherry's Jubilee. Can you hit the progressive? Yes. But it doesn't give you small wins enough to keep playing. You put in $200 and you can potentially make 15, 20 credits back, and all those pushes, your $200 is gone. Unless you hit the progressive, you just don't get enough small wins to keep going to build the player's points. Now, if you're committed, and you're going to spend $1,000 to win $1,000, you're probably going to do so. Cherry's Jubilees, you can probably put $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 into it, and you're probably going to pop that progressive, maybe even twice. Statistically, not though. And if you do, great. It's a good way to build your players' points also, but you just got to commit, right? You can't just put in $200 and you walk away like, well, that sucked. I lost $200. You got to keep going until you hit it. And not everybody wants to commit that. That's a lot. You sit down, you're like, well, I've got my budget's $100 a day or $200 a day, and you're here for 5 days. Do you really want to sit down on one machine and put your entire budget of $1,000 for your trip into that one machine just in hopes to get that progressive? I don't know. Not me. But that's my opinion. It's still a good slot, but I'm just definitely not going to chase it. Hell's Bells, the one we're in front of right now, another great slot. So many times I've sat down, played this machine at $5 a spot, put $200 in there, and I can play for a really long time, and I typically am close to that $200. So what you're really looking for in a slot machine is nothing that's going to pay you huge, right? You just want something that's going to consistently pay you small wins so you can keep playing. That's all it's about. It's all about you just pushing that button and it's racking up saying, okay, $3, okay, another $3, okay, another $3. It doesn't care how much money you took out or whatever. It just says if you're able to just keep pushing that button, that's going to tell the casino on your player's card that you've played X amount of dollars, and when you've played X amount of dollars, they're going to raise your comps for your next trip. There's that game out there in a lot of casinos. It's got that free games feature. It says free games, free games, free games. It's used 3 reel. and I can't remember the name of it. They got a few different versions of it. That one's not bad because you play it long enough and you get that free games feature. Typically, get some of your money back or decent little hit, and it allows you to keep going. But that's my suggestion for tips and tricks on that is find slots that give you small wins consistently so you can keep playing, right? If it's not giving you small wins consistently and you're just hoping for that big win, that is not the right slot to play if you're trying to build up your players' points or your comps for your next trip. Double diamond and triple diamond, I don't think are great slots to play for building players' points or building your comps. And I'll tell you why after this reel, whatever happens here. Oh, it went by. So I just don't think they're good slots. Why? Because how many times have you, I gotta imagine every single one of you that are watching this video that's a double diamond lover or a triple diamond lover, you've sat down and played it, and you put in a few $100 or $50 or $500, whatever your budget was for that session, and you went blank almost every single spin, or you got a cherry, or you got mixed bars once. I've had sessions like that. I've actually had multiple sessions like that. And so I just don't think that those are great slots to try to build your players' points because they don't give enough consistent wins to keep you playing. So if anybody's got any comments that they would like to add to that, stuff that I've not thought of or things that I missed, I'd appreciate it. Share it with everybody because we definitely want to share off each other's ideas and experiences in the slot community. Maybe you've got a good slot machine that you use to build your players' points, for comps your next trip. Something that I've either not played or not thought of. And I'm not going to sit here and try to name every single slot that's great, but I think just by saying if you find a slot that consistently gives you small wins to keep playing, that just basically is the general rule of thumb. Now, unfortunately, Hell's Bells is not proving my point right now. It's kind of being a little tight on us. All right, there we go, 43. We'll take that. But it typically plays fairly well for us. We usually get the little 5, and then of course other small mixed or hits. But then we usually get that free games feature often enough where it gives us our credits back or more typically, and it allows you to just keep going for a long time. I think we're gonna miss it. Yep. I'm not going to keep raising and lowering, but it does have this little roller coaster feature up above, which is kind of cool. I'll show it for just this once. All right, here we go. Now we're going to leave it here. Times 4. This is where we want a big hit, darn it. Nothing.
In the afterlife, you could be headed for the serious strife. Now you make the scene all day.
Come on, buddy.
Tomorrow they'll be held
darn, nothing. So far, just zilching out. That's not typical. I don't know if I've ever gotten 5 blanks in a row.
I mean about future calamity. I used to think the idea was up
6 blanks in a row. Wow. Well, that was 5. I'm good, thank you. At least it's times 2 is the small multiplier that time, but at least we got something. We can re-trigger in this also.
This is a place where eternally fire is applied to the body. Teeth are extruded and bones are ground and baked into cakes which are passed around. The afterlife, you could be headed for a serious
Darn. That honestly is the worst free games bonus I've ever gotten on this machine, 10 credits. that is by far the worst I've ever gotten on it, but that's okay. It's a crazy loud machine. The volume's all the way down. I can't turn it down any more than that. All right, let's get something to make up for that. All right, the camera's off just a bit and it's bugging me. There we go. But yeah, if you guys have other suggestions like I was talking about, please share them in the comments, because we want this slot community to come to the casinos and do our best, right? We want to have our budget last as long as possible and potentially get as many free offers from the casinos as possible. All right, we'll take that. 25, we needed it. We needed good free games though. Mix sevens again. And bars, I guess. The other thing is, don't be in a hurry, right? When you're sitting here playing, you're trying to build your points, just don't be in a hurry. Don't rush through it. Just enjoy your time, enjoy yourself. Find a nice, comfortable pace. You're pushing that button. No, teased us there. Thought maybe we had a chance. Oh, darn. Oh, man. Let this be a good one. That first one was literally the worst I've ever seen.
In the afterlife, casino all day, but tomorrow they'll be held to pay. You could be headed for a serious life. Now you'll make casino all day.
Retrader.
Attentively, I mean about your calamity. I used to think the idea was obsolete until I heard the old man stamp on his feet. This is a place where eternally fire is applied to liberty. It's all extruded and bones are ground and baked into cakes which are passed around. Now you make casino days.
At least we got a little something. I mean, it's still a bad bonus. I'm telling you, the slot plays better than the way it's playing right now for this video. All those that have been watching me play this slot know that for sure. These have just been terrible bonuses for some reason. I can't believe it. I think it's going to go by. We're going to miss it. Yeah. Once you've played this machine enough, you can kind of judge the spin rate of whether it's going to land or not when you see it go by the last time. Come on, get it. Oh, well, at least we got it 4 times and 3 times on mixed bars. Thought a red 7 would have been super fun there. Oh, be a good one, please. Let's get a good one. Ah, it's going to go by, I do believe, again. Yep. Darn it. Going by, went by 1 that time. 7. All right, there we go. It helps. 7. All right. Get it. Oh, man. get it. I might get it this time. Oh, we missed it by one. Oh, half a position. It's too fast. So 200 in, we're gonna pull out $1, but honestly, I got 2 bad bonuses. The machine typically pays better than that. You get the bonuses, you know, fairly often, I feel, but it's just those were bad bonuses. I've never really seen them that bad like that, especially 2 in a row. Can't believe it. But this is what you're looking for, is slots like this. I mean, we lost $199. If I'd have got a couple of decent bonuses, I probably would be still at $200, honestly, if it played like it normally would, and we would just be at that $200, bring it back down and bring it back up and keep going back and forth. But I've pushed that button, I have no idea, a couple hundred times at least. You know, so I didn't do $200 in slot play. In the casino's mine, I did over 1,000 if I pushed that button 200 times. And that's what you're looking for, right? The casino just says, hey, you just, you know, spent $1,000. You didn't spend $200. So look for slots that consistently give you small wins so you can keep playing and play and play, and you build those players points so you get your comps, right? That's the way, that's what the casino is going to look for. You get better offers. I hope this video helped out a lot. Dark Oblivion, I really appreciate the question. It's a great question. And if there's something, again, like I said, if I missed, please share in the comments. Let's help everybody else out. Thanks for all the support from everybody. If you've not subscribed, I'd love it if you do so. Sorry, this was a much longer video than normal, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. All right, shout out to Dark Oblivion again. Let's go Handpay.